river that moves steadily toward a vision you have set for yourself. Ask yourself, what is that vision? You are the captain of a boat that suits your style. Might be a canoe or a yacht. The sky is a vivid blue and the weather just perfect. You disembark from the shore, leaving behind doubts about the destination. The current is easily navigated, though you reason there might be obstacles ahead. Next, you begin your voyage meditation, planning what needs to happen next. Once flowing with the river, you realize that gratitude fuels the power of your imagination. You understand that your vision is made up of many precious moments, each a potential step toward reality taking form. You take in all the sights with your senses, knowing that the power of love holds your destination in focus. For staying in the current is determined by how you use the power of the imagination and the strength of your love. Your destination will also be supported by how you use the power of order to organize and sequence each devoted moment that leads to your vision. I leave you here to continue your voyage on the river and invite you to imagine the steps that will enable you to reach your vision's location. It is time to leave your your river voyage and step back out of your boat into our sanctuary. Let us remember that we are guided by divine gifts of imagination, that we can feel the clarity about what needs to be done to steadily navigate toward our vision, that our life is in divine order. As you open your eyes, may you carry with you a vision that supports a new life reflected of the best Christ within. I leave you with this phrase by Charles Fillmore: "It is through the imagination that formless takes form." And may it be so.
Perfect. We'll take it. We will take it. Of course. I always think it's weird when I see something this is like, might as well be French. No clue. See. And I also have learned when there's a problem with the sound, don't click all the buttons. See if you were treating. I have learned. Oh, God. Hey, I'm good for a punchline if I'm good for anything. Right? It's my special gift to mankind. Seriously. Yes. Yes. I agree. I have to tell you about what we have a producer on Thursday. Okay, then. It's nice to know it's impactful, you know?
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Awesome. How's everybody else? Even better. Awesome. I'm going to invite you to stand if you are able and follow along, sing along, dance along, whatever you want to do. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together
In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
From every walk of life, every creed and color, in friendship we unite to honor the God in each other. Look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
yourselves a hand.
Yes. Before you sit down, just look around the room and extend a warm hug to those that are here this morning. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Indianapolis, spiritual community. You can sit now. Spiritual community being built by love. No matter who you are or where you are from, you are welcomed here this morning. We're going to light the Christ candle. Welcome home to Unity of Indianapolis. As we light this Christ candle, we honor the divine light within each of us. We recognize that this light is the presence of God, guiding us in wisdom, love, and peace. Today we affirm that the Christ light shines brightly in our hearts and in our world. Please join me in affirming our statement of truth. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars, all of creation. God is creator, all in all, leading us to shine its light as you, as me. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. Here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Let us pray. I invite you to close your eyes, lower your gaze. Take a deep breath in. Use me, oh God. Use me, oh God. I stand for you. Show me the way. We're gathered here in the presence and as the presence of the divine. feeling the love of divine energy flowing through me, around me, through you, around you. In this space, we bless all people, no matter where they're from, no matter beliefs or skin color or race, sexual identity, family structure. We bless all people because because all of us express the divine in our own unique way. And we honor that in each other. In this moment, let's take the time to lift those who are in need of prayer support in prayer, holding them in the high watch that they are a beloved child of God. If you're watching online and there's someone that you know needs prayer support, you may type their name in the chat. If you're here in the room, you can say the name out loud. And for anyone who is bound in the darkness of this world and feels that they have no one to remember their name, we lift their name up in prayer as well. We thank you, God, for the healing, for the comfort, for the wisdom, for the understanding, for all of the needs of these prayers, that those who are in need may find it within themselves through their own divinity, that is you. Use me, God. Use us all. Show us what we can do. And so it is. Amen.
In this prayerful state, I'm going to read the daily word for today, which is gratitude. And if it feels okay to you, maybe lower your gaze or close your eyes for a moment, because these words are beautiful. Gratitude. Practicing gratitude leads me to the best life has to offer. Finding the good in situations, even undesirable ones. And feeling grateful is a spiritual superpower. When I practice gratitude, I am living my faith that blessings of all kinds are constantly unfolding, and the goodness of God is in all things. Gratitude keeps me positive, helping me to expect the best and not the worst. It opens my heart to existing blessings and primes me to receive even more. When I live with an attitude of gratitude, I am simply magnetic. I go forth with the expectation I will have what I need when I need it. I will meet the people I need to meet and be in the right place at the right time. In prayer, I give grateful thanks and rest assured that my highest and best outcomes are on their way to me. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever.
I give my thanks to Sit back down.
Don't know, my name's Todd Fouché, and serving as your platform assistant, obviously, today. This is a time in our service where we get to recognize opportunities on a daily basis, maybe hourly basis, to live our truth. And if you've been here in the last several weeks, you've seen others from the congregation come forward to share that. But if anyone this morning feels inclined to come up and share how they've lived their truth this past week, today, maybe this morning already, please do so. Well, if not today, give thought in the days ahead. But one thought that comes to mind is this morning I was wanting to see the fires in California a little bit differently, and it seemed like it was within seconds of wishing and praying to see that differently, that all of a sudden there were stories about neighboring countries and neighboring states that were sending folks to provide relief to the firefighters. And there were people stepping forward to help the pets that were abandoned and to find homes for them or find their original homeowners. But it was just one story of love after the next, and love does show up in the midst of disasters, and so it's a great example of living our truth. I think Kent's going to come forward with his truth. We welcome you as well.
I try to notice things around me when I'm going about my business. And there was this one guy, this kid, at night would always walk his dog. And yesterday I finally talked to him. And it came up that I used to live in Oklahoma. And he goes, his eyes got really bright. And he goes, Oklahoma? He goes, yeah. He goes, where in Oklahoma? And I went to the University of Oklahoma. And he goes, I've been thinking I've been being called to go to Oklahoma, and I don't know where I need to go. I don't know if it's Oklahoma City or Tulsa. And I said, well, you really should go to Tulsa. It's much better. So anyway, he was like, he had to hear that. He just lit up. And his dog started jumping all over me, and he just gave me a big hug and said, thank you very much. I needed that. And it's like we can do that to people around us if we just notice things and just say something to somebody. Whatever you have to say, you might not know. I mean, who in the heck would think someone would want to move to Oklahoma? And so he feels the calling, and I think he's going to go. And that was God telling me to talk to him about that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that happened, and I think that happens to all of us. I think everybody here has something like that, and continue doing that, and doing God's work. Just keep being aware of people around you in the situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Kent.
Thank you, Kent. This is an opportunity to thank and welcome each of you who support this church on a daily and weekly basis. So thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being those of you who are online. And it's also a chance for us to welcome those who have been here, that are here today for the first time or back after a long while. And if you are, we'd like to recognize you, so we might need you to wave at us at this moment or stand up if you could for a second. We have two here on the right. Welcome.
We recognize you.
Very much. Thank you on this wintry day to come join us. If everyone could, either your hands in front of you or hands behind you, but let's just extend a blessing to each of you and to those who are joining us for the first time this morning. We welcome you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we thank you for sharing your light with us this day. Our theme for 2025 is tune out the noise. Tune out the noise. Tune in the vision. I'm going to correct myself. Turn out the noise. Tune in the vision. Bear with me. Okay. This month's theme is Power of Faith. Let us affirm this month's affirmation together. Walking in faith, my steps are sure. Divine guidance is clear, and my faith is path.
Thank you, Todd. Kent, your testimony this morning was a great lead-in to this song by Faith Rivera. I am called to be a healer for all humanity. I am called to be a dreamer, believe in what can be. I'm called to be a maker, be an instrument of peace. I'm called to be a giver, of abundance I receive. I'm called to be a prayer, living out the truth I seek. I'm called to be everything. I am called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. I am the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be. You are called to be a mother, to nurture family. You are called to be a brother, be strength in times of need. You are called to be a neighbor, see a friend in all you meet. You are called to be a leader, to build community. You are called to be a prayer, living out the truth you seek. You are called to be everything. You are called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. You are the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be. We are called to be the kindness, set the broken-hearted free. We are called to be forgiveness, where pain has run too deep. We are called to be compassion, be the wind beneath each wing. We're called to make communion, only then can we succeed. We are called to be a prayer, living out the truth you seek. We're called to be everything. We are called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. We are the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be free, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be free, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be. Oh, we're called to be, yeah.
often happens, I feel like with all the music and the testimony and the prayer and everything that's happened, you don't really need the talk today. And yet, I'm going to give one. So, good morning. For those that do not know me, my name is Reverend Edward Trout. I am an ordained interfaith minister through One Spirit Seminary out of New York, and it is my distinct pleasure to be your speaker this morning. I will give a heads up, especially for anybody newer. My talk today is full of books and full of quotes. Not a surprise to some of you, but just be prepared. So today's daily word was gratitude, and is gratitude. And there's a section of that really spoke to me. It all spoke to me on some great level, but this one, living my faith that blessings of all kinds are constantly unfolding, and the goodness of God is in all things. That's the faith I'm living. And this week, that's been especially hard. California's on fire. Los Angeles landmarks are burning down. People are in distress. We keep hearing daily from friends and relatives out there getting updates on what's going on with them. We send prayers, we send money, but you still feel helpless. It's hard to look at that in gratitude, and that's just one example. We all have our lives. That gratitude, living in gratitude, gets really difficult at times. But that is one of the things we are called to be. We are called to see the things we can be grateful for. And there was a book I was reading, shock, there was a book I was reading called The Let Them Theory. It's by Mel Robbins. In fact, there's a picture of Mel. And Mel Robbins has written several books. This is her most recent one. Is anybody familiar with Mel Robbins and her work? We've got a couple of hands. Great. Yeah. Oh, nice. Maria got to meet her. So the book, The Let Them Theory, is primarily about relationships, and that's great talk for a different day. I'm really focused on what she talked about in her introduction in this book, because she gave kind of a past of herself and the reason why she wrote some of the other books. So Mel talks about a time in her life when she was at her bottom point. And I think we have all been there at one point or another. Some of us may be there right now. A point where she was married, had 3 kids. She was unemployed at that moment. Her husband's restaurant was failing. They were $800,000 in debt. And I know that sounds like a lot, but when you think about, oh, you bought a nice home in a reasonable place, you have a couple of nice cars, and you're sending kids to school, maybe college, it's easy to accumulate that much debt. And there she was, and bills were piling up, literally piling up. She could not force herself to open them. She could not force herself to get out of bed in the morning. Again, I don't need to ask who's been there with a show of hands. It would be an embarrassment of riches of those who can identify, right? So, one morning, her alarm is going off, and she knows she's supposed to get up. And so a thought comes to her of, what if I just count down from 5, like a launch, and like a rocket, I just launch myself out of bed. So she went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, got up. Like, wow, that worked. She started applying it to other things. She went to the stack of bills, right? It's like, I can't open them. I know they're going to say past due, you owe extra money, all of these things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up the first one, open it, deal with it. This was a grueling, lengthy process to get her there, but every morning, getting out of bed, that countdown. Every time she had to do something she didn't want to do, that countdown. Now, eventually a friend asked her to speak to a large group of people on job change. She says in her introduction, I'm not sure why they asked me other than they know I have changed jobs so many times that I must be an expert. But they were willing to fly her and put her up, and she's like, we get a free vacation out of this. Yes, I'm going to do that. But then she got to the site, and she realized she felt very out of her depth. And she ended up giving a talk to 700 people, which she described as 19 minutes of an anxiety attack, at the end of which she had forgotten how she was going to end her talk. So at the end of her anxiety attack, she just blurted out the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method that she had been using, And then she says, and I must have literally blacked out because I do not remember giving everybody my email address, but I most certainly did give everybody my email address. There's proof of it because that talk later on went on to become one of the first TEDx talks that were videoed and shared. So she started getting thousands of emails from people that used that 54321. And as I said, it was not overnight, right? And she was not an expert on motivation or an expert on any of that psychology, although she has since studied those things. But what she said is, I had screwed up my life and I had to fix it. And that's how I came to talk about these things, by fixing my own mistakes. Our dear friend Jim Wise, who's a theologian and a spiritual poet, shared a thought this week that spoke to me and tied into that for me, which is, anger said to wisdom, sit down and shut up, I've got this. Later, anger lay exhausted and beaten on the floor, and wisdom was left to clean up the mess that anger had made. Right? We all hear that, yeah. Yeah, I've been there, I've been that. And according to Mel Robbins, of course, those small, consistent actions, for her that 54321, amongst other things, small, consistent actions make that change. And whatever that means for you, there's a meme that has gone around that I'll share. It's a therapist saying, what do we say when we're getting out of bed? And me, I say, for Frodo. And the therapist nods and says, for Frodo. If you don't get that reference, talk to me later, it's fine. You find what that thing is that will help you get out of bed, whether it's 54321, whether it's Frodo carrying the one ring. I don't care what it is for you. Maybe it is just knowing that somebody's depending on you. Maybe it's knowing that you're depending on you. Whatever it is, something to get you that small, consistent step. 54321, do it, right? And we can talk about the big things, right? About paying the bills, having the hard talk, but sometimes it's just doing the laundry, right? Sometimes it's just self-care, right? Many of us know we need to take care of ourselves, and yet it becomes hard to do because we feel guilty when we do it. And so you don't do it, and then you burn out because you can't serve from an empty vessel. So if that's what's needed, and you struggle with doing it, just give yourself well, okay, I know I need to sit and meditate. I know I need to take a nap, whatever it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do it because I have to do it. I love one of the things that she says in her research she found out that is one of the simplest ways to address like self-confidence for those of us that may need that extra boost is just in the morning, go to your mirror and give yourself a big old high five in the mirror. Just big high five every morning. It sounds ridiculous, right? But many of us in this room have done mirror work. It's just a form of mirror work. And it will reset you if you do it consistently. Small step. Takes 3 seconds? And it can reset you. And the thing is, she has affected so many lives, changed so many lives for the better. You don't know how many lives you are yet to affect for the better. Whether it's something like this or whether it's simply helping somebody choose Tulsa over Oklahoma City, right? You don't know where you can show up for people if you're willing to step into it. And this is again, just the book's introduction, right? There's a whole great book that follows. But the thing is, when we get into the latter part of the book, it's a whole different set of questions. So I do want to talk about those things, just not all of that today. But it does get into the stuff of the relationships, and the things that would matter here are asking ourselves those hard questions with the people around us. Why am I not doing this? Why am I not having that hard conversation with this person? Why am I afraid to fail in front of these people? Right? Don't be afraid to ask yourself those hard questions, because too often we are thinking about what those other people are thinking and what they're thinking of us. And so we want to change our lives so they change how they see us. Guess what? You can't change other people. You have no control over other people. And in fact, that is the title of her first chapter, Stop Wasting Your Life on Things You Can't Control. And that includes using religion and scripture to do it. Father Richard Rohr, there's this beautiful book, Yes and, which was a gift from the beautiful Meredith. And he has a meditation in here. This is all daily meditation. So if you're not familiar with Father Richard Rohr, I recommend reading his work. Yes, he comes from a Catholic background, but he is so New Thought. But he says here, my dear friend, Dr. Gerald May, made a distinction years ago that I have found myself using frequently. He wrote that spirituality is not to encourage willfulness, but in fact, willingness, which is what the song Use Me was about this morning. Spirituality creates willing people who let go of their need to be first or to be right or to be saved, to be superior, and to define themselves as better than other people. That game is over and gone if we haven't come to the willing level. In other words, not my will, but thy will be done. I would like to say that the goal in general is to be serious about scriptures. We have often substituted being literal with being serious, and they are not the same. He asks us to read that a second time, so I will read it a second time. We have often substituted being literal with being serious, and they are not the same. The point I would like to make is that literalism does not take the text seriously at all. Pure literalism, in fact, avoids the real impact, the real message. Literalism is the lowest and least level of meaning in a spiritual text. Willful people use scripture literally when it serves their purposes, and they use it figuratively when it gets in the way of their cultural biases. Ow, he can call us out so easily, right? But so very true. I love reading his work. So, that idea of whether we're using religion and scripture or whether we're simply using our surroundings, our abilities, our life to change other people, we can't change them. We can only change us. These last, 4 weeks or more, we've had this spiritual journey. For those of you that were not here for the last several weeks, do not worry, you're in the right place at the right time. But we came through the Advent season and then into the Advent and the birthing of the Christ consciousness. Then a couple of weeks ago, we had our burning bowl ceremony, where we release those things that don't serve us anymore. And we had the letter to God, where we're focusing on what we want to fill that void with. Then last week, we had the white stone ceremony. By the way, if you were not here because of the weather last week, or even if you're not here this week still because of weather, we do have spare stones. So if you need to pick up a stone so that you can still do that for yourself, don't worry, we have you covered. But the white stone ceremony gave us a new name, a new identity to go into this year with, something to focus on from the divine. This year's theme, tune out the noise, tune in the vision. So for a little clarification, the noise, that's all the stuff out there that you cannot control. That is the noise. The vision, that's what you control. We have our own vision here at Unity. We have, there's a why statement written inside your bulletin, but this is also ultimately about your vision, your life. That is the one thing you really control. What you do, how you show up, not how others show up. For those that are not familiar with the 5 Unity principles, I want to review those really quickly. Number 1, we said it already today, there's only one power, one presence, God, the good, which is absolute, good, which is everywhere present, and which is all powerful. Number 2, God is spirit, and God is everywhere, meaning that human beings have a spark of divinity within us because God is everywhere, and that is the Christ spirit within. Number 3, our thought dictates our action. Human beings create our experiences by the activity of thinking, by our imagination. Number 4, prayer and meditation are direct links to God. But number 5, it takes daily practice and living out what we know. I have mentioned before that sometimes I use mudras with these, which is God is, I am. I think, I pray, I live. This last step is hugely important because if you're only aware of the first four, it's all kept in here. And you're not really living your life out. You're simply thinking your life. That's like thinking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and not getting out of bed, right? You've got to launch it. And a question, those 5 principles I just went over, God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. How many of those 5 deal with controlling other people? 0. It's about controlling me. It's always about us. So, going back to Mel Robbins, as I said, she couldn't just think the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and think about getting out of bed. She had to do it. She had to make herself do that work. So for you, whether that is getting up or paying the bills or making sure that you're helping your neighbor, clothing and feeding the homeless, standing up for social justice, whatever it might be that drives you, you have to get out and do it. We can't just think about it. We have to take steps, even when they are small. Small but consistent steps change our lives. And I hear you. I hear some of you now. But I'm not sure what's mine to do. So in these last few weeks, we've done a lot of that work. Even if you were not here for that, you do know. There are things that your heart returns to, things that your mind returns to, things that your spirit returns to. There are things that you cannot let go because they are part of yours to do. And you might think, but that's really insignificant. That's really stupid. It doesn't change the world. Yes, it does. Whatever you know in your heart is yours to do will change the world. It may be in a very small way. It may be in a huge way. Mel changed people in a huge way just by blurting out something she wasn't even planning to say. But it came from a place of good, a place of finding that motivation. So, you know it, you can focus on it, you can think about it, you can pray about it, you can meditate on it, but you've got to do it, right? We can't sit in the same life we've been living, wanting changes without enacting changes. There's a quote that is sometimes attributed to Albert Einstein. It's also attributed to Al-Anon, the support group for loved ones of alcoholics, that says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Right? Most of us have heard that at some point. I also like Reverend Johnny Coleman. She's a New Thought minister, and actually I believe there's a picture of her as well, if you want to move to that slide. But Reverend Johnny Coleman says, if what you've been thinking and doing hasn't been working, you need a new thought. Literally a new thought, right? Like faith, like gratitude. And as much as we practice those, maybe we need a new view of those. Maybe we need to step up that practice. Maybe we need to look for that gratitude even in the horrifying things that happen, right? Most of us grew up with a concept of God somewhere out there or up there. I believe I speak the truth when I say most of us grew up with that. So in this month's Unity publication, Spirituality and Health, our dear friend, Reverend Jackie Fernandez, who is senior minister at Overland Park, had an article where she had made reference to Reverend Johnny Coleman and Reverend Johnny Coleman's book, which is called It Works If You Work It. It works if you work it. And one of the things that stuck out is the writing, God does not have what you need. God is the substance of that need. You do not have to ask God for life. God is life, and you are the projection of that life. There's another quote, I said, books and quotes. I'm all books and quotes this morning. Michael Dell, the computer entrepreneur, Michael Dell, is credited with saying the phrase, although I know it comes from other sources too, everything you need is in the room. It's not somewhere out here that you have to find it. Everything you need is in the room. And we are not begging God for any of this. We just affirm that it is already ours. And Reverend Johnny Coleman, I love this analogy. She talks about, you can go to the ocean for water, and if you take a teaspoon, you're going to get a teaspoon of water. If you take a barrel, you're going to get a barrel of water, and the ocean doesn't care either way. Right? We think, oh God, that's too big. Nope. Only in your head. So the only limitations are the things that we assign ourselves. Charles Roth, former Unity minister here for many years and significant Unity author, used to speak about gold dust in the air. And you could just reach out and grab handfuls of gold dust. He was talking about divine substance, right? It's just the energy that is all around us. All matter is the same stuff. It's all the same energy, just this particular energy has coalesced into this particular body known as Ed. Great. But we're all made of the same stuff. We're all just like that stardust, right? From eons ago. It's up to us where we put that focus, up to us where we focus that energy of our life. Because the divine life, the divine wisdom, all of that is coming right through you. Where do you allow it to focus? What do you allow it to bring forth with you and for you in this world? And always remember, Mel Robbins, chapter 1, stop wasting your life on things you can't control. We all do it. I was talking to Michael. Many of you know, I'm a very even-tempered person, except in traffic and with technology that doesn't want to do its job. Those are the two things. And I've been practicing more of that idea of that person doesn't know how to drive, they're doing this thing, let them. I can't change it in that moment. Why should I let that destroy my peace when I can't change it? There's no sense in me getting upset at the things I can't change, right? That's part of the let them theory. This brought up for me a memory of a class in middle school for me, like 6th grade middle school. We were given group projects, and we were broken into groups of like 5 people, and each team had to approach its project with different forms of decision making. One team got to elect a leader, and the leader declared what was going to happen. One team, whatever their choices were, they voted on every individual choice. One team got to use rock, paper, scissors to break the ties and decisions. My team was given arm wrestling. Now, especially as a child, I was not a particularly athletic child. I was an indoor child. And the group was a very mixed, boys and girls, and some athletic and some not. And this project involved all kinds of aspects of visual art and writing and other things. And as we were going through, there were some differing opinions. There was one where I don't remember the specifics, I just know I had a really strong opinion about a visual arts aspect. Imagine that. And somebody else, one of the other guys, who was more athletic than I was, disagreed with me. So we arm wrestled. I ended up winning, even though he was more athletic, and I was sure he was stronger than me. But I didn't think he just let me win either, but I was confused on why I won. So later the teacher asked something about our group, and so if somebody had like a better idea, but they were not the stronger person, could they still get their idea through? And I kind of was like, well, I think so. And they're like, well, how? It's like, I don't know. Because it took me a long time to articulate why I think I actually won that arm wrestling. It was because I cared. I think he had an opinion, but there wasn't a lot of power behind it. He didn't want what I wanted. I really cared about my choice. I really believed in that. I was not going to back down. He backed down. And I think that made all the difference. I just couldn't articulate it back then. Walking in faith, my steps are sure. Divine guidance is clear, and my path is illuminated. We open to the divine, right? Saying, use me. O God. Here I am. I stand for you, and here I abide. Command my hands. What must they do? So your steps, your path, all of that, those are the things you get to choose control over. You are taking inspiration from the divine, but it's up to you to give the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm doing it, right? And again, maybe that's social justice. Maybe it's homelessness outreach. Maybe it's building a better community. Maybe it is working in your family. Whatever it is to you, you know those things. God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. Please live. We act, we do. Small, consistent doing will change your life. Therefore, I ask you to join me in 2 very simple tasks through the next 3 weeks, like through the end of the month. Number 1, every morning at some point, go into your mirror and go, yeah, and high five yourself. Can you do that? You'll feel like an idiot the first 5 times. But I want you to really do that consistently through the end of the month. You don't have to say yeah, whatever. You say whatever motivates you, but high five yourself in the mirror. Whether that means you actually touch the mirror and then have to clean it, I don't know. For me, I keep my hand away from the actual glass because I don't want to have to wipe the handprints off. But that's me. So that's one. Pretty simple, right? That's early in the day. The other simple thing I want you to do is to recite this month's affirmation before bedtime. Walking in faith, my steps are sure. My divine guidance is clear. My path is illuminated. It's in your bulletin. There are also cards out front. You can take that with you. So, are you willing to high five yourself every morning? Yes. Are you willing to say that affirmation every evening? Yes. Okay. If you didn't say yes either of those times, I ask you to reconsider, but I'm not going to force you. You're not coming back for a grade. This is you. This is you doing the work. And that gratitude, right? Remembering to keep gratitude to the forefront, even in the difficult times. Because when I live in gratitude, I am living my faith. And it's that faith that shows me the blessings of the divine. Or 2 more quotes for you. 2 to go. This one's attributed to Jerry Porter, and you've probably seen it a lot this week, because I have too. If you choose not to find joy in the snow, you will have less joy in your life, but still the same amount of snow. Right? It's like, well, yeah, that's an obvious truth. I can either find joy in it or not. I would rather have joy. The other is is from the character Auntie Mame. Life is a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. Grab those handfuls of gold dust. Divine substance is all around you. Don't starve. If by chance you are still just a little lost on what is yours to do, I'm going to end with a short meditation. So, I want you to go ahead and settle into your seat, get comfortable, feet on the floor, hands in your lap. Go ahead and close your eyes, or if you are not comfortable closing your eyes, at least lower your gaze. And I want you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath, and then release it. And as you continue breathing, I want you to change the focus of your breath to right into the center of your brain, right to that pineal gland, that center of your power of faith. You can picture that breath just as a bright blue light coming into and out of that faith center. Deep breaths in and out. And then on your next deep breath, let that rise up to your crown chakra, the top of your head, as that light becomes a bright white. You're focusing now on your I am, your center of Christ consciousness. And if it feels right to you, let my words be your words. I am quiet, and I am beginning to feel relaxed. My mind is calm and quiet. I let the light of the Christ consciousness fill my being. I am filled with light and peace. The Christ within me assures me of my ability to make right decisions. All sure guidance comes from within, where I touch the divine mind and have access to the infinite pool of wisdom to guide my steps. I know what I need, and I know what is mine to do. I feel the life of God, the love of God, the abundance of God flowing through me. I continue to release that which no longer serves me as I let go and let God guide me to my next step. It may be a small step, but I will be consistent and I will follow divine guidance. All fear, all doubt, all thoughts of lack or insufficiency are washed away as I affirm in faith, my steps are sure. Divine guidance is clear, and my path is illuminated. Rest in that truth as we go into a moment of silence. Keeping your eyes closed, remember to give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Practicing gratitude leads you to the best life has to offer. Reach out with both hands and grab as much gold dust out of that air as you can. Your steps are sure. Divine guidance is clear, and your path is illuminated. Now together, we will count down from 5 to 1, and you will open your eyes, and you will get up and high-five somebody around you. And you really will. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, high five. Now go out and claim what is yours and do the work you came here to do. Amen, Amin, Aho, Ashe, and Namaste.
Bernard, for a beautiful lesson. I got to high-five Maria, but she's 2 feet shorter than me.
Show them what you did. Show them what you did.
No, thank you for a beautiful message, Ed. Thank you. It's the time in our service where we get to talk about a few announcements and also to celebrate our riches. As Reverend Ed calls us to action, there is an opportunity to take action, both on a self level of the work we do individually, but also collectively in our announcements. If you look at the bulletin, there are many opportunities to participate in classes and take action in that regard. We'd love to thank the moderators of the many events that take place here and the preparation that they do. But if it feels right to you, there's Women in Bloom today following service. There's Heart and Soul class that I think is on Thursday night. We have an upcoming men's book study. I think that starts on the 23rd. There's the 12 Powers on every Saturday morning now. But if those feel like a call to action for you, join in that collective consciousness. Maria might be gesturing behind me. If not, Maria, put hand over head about raising our consciousness. So this could be done on an individual level. And I'll move out of the way if you can't see Maria. But please take a look at those classes and see if it feels right to you to join in those. In addition, next Sunday, we have our board meeting. It's the third Sunday of each month. And if any of you feel ever an interest in joining those meetings, please do. But more specifically, as we prepare for the annual meeting in the latter part of March, this is a time where we're looking for board candidates. And many people want to understand more about what a board member does or how a board meeting's conducted. And it's a perfect opportunity for you this month and next month. So once again, next Sunday following service, about 12:30, is when that meeting starts. Feel free to join if you have any interest in learning more. If you have interest in joining the board, it's a very important time for us in the next 2 months to identify those candidates and then present that during the annual meeting. Thank you. Any other announcements? Anyone? Okay. We're going to celebrate our riches at this time. Important time as we live a life of abundance and prosperity. At Unity of Indianapolis, we celebrate our prosperity by embracing the spiritual practice of giving. We encourage everyone to practice giving as a way to support our community and to grow spiritually. It is your offerings, your time, your talent that supports this community, allowing us to continue this mission of being a thriving spiritual center that encourages conscious transformation. If you feel that you've been fed today, spiritually nurtured, we gratefully welcome any gift that you have to offer. As many of you know, there are baskets outside the sanctuary that you can place your tithe. If that feels right, please do, but there's many other ways. Once again, your time, your talent is very much needed for us to raise our consciousness and to share this truth, both internally and with all. And thank you again for our guests this morning for joining us as well. Giving is a spiritual practice. When done mindfully and through the energy of love, let us now express our gratitude. If you are giving a gift today, please hold that money or check in your hand. For those who give online or at a different time, hold that amount in your mind as we bless this offering. Divine love, working through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Let us pray. We are grateful for the gifts given here today, both the tangible and the intangible. We are blessed by the presence of those with us and blessed by what they share with us today. We honor these gifts as they support this spiritual community in making positive changes in this neighborhood, in this city, and beyond. And so it is.
All right, let's stand if you're able to for the peace song. If you're new, people are going to get in a big circle and they're going to hold hands as we sing. Let's walk with each other. surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is.
We are divine, and
All is well. Have a great week, everyone. Love you, Andy.
I'll remember that next week. Something from Thomas for me where? What? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, 1, 2, 2. Two, 1, 2. Good morning. Sorry you had an issue. The goal is to cure things, not create problems. But what's weird is they're working. Like I didn't touch anything, and they're working from here. So we need to figure out why they're not working from up there. But yeah, that's what we're listening to right now is the monitors. So is it possible, quick question for you, not to slow you down, is it possible, will this make noise? Does it have to be turned on or anything? Just power switch? I just want to be sure we check everything before I leave today. I just want to be sure we make noise on everything, you know what I mean? This one? All right, cool, thanks. And literally